Guten Morgen, lads and lassies, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we've got a state-of-the-art handle and we're going to be learning how to do a 360 on a wakeboard. Alright, so there's a couple fundamentals that you need to be able to do before you do a 360, and those include a wake-to-wake jump, a wake-to-wake Heelside 180, and then in an ideal world also be able to do a surface 360. However, that's not fully essential. Right, so the first thing you want to do is focus on getting the right pop. So what we're actually going to do before we even attempt a 360 is to cut out, cut back in and do a Heelside 180, but doing quite a late 180. Once you've done that, then we're going to go and replicate that but do a 360. And here's how you do the 360 from start all the way through to the end. So like every trick, the 360 begins at the wake. You want to cut out nice and wide, take your time once you're out there before initiating things on the way back in. Then you want to take the progressive edge. Now if you don't know what this is, then hit the link at the top of the screen and that will explain it, as that is essential. So you initiate the progressive edge back in towards the wake, building, 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 and then it all comes to the wake. And as always, it's very important to go up and then to pop and then you spin. So you're standing tall, and then once you're up in the air, you don't want to try and spin too early. You want to wait until you're in the air. Pull that back hip up to the handle, and look how I have two hands on the handle. That's so important. Two hands up to the handle, spin around, reach for that handle, and then come out. And also another really important thing is when you land, try not look too quickly back to the boat, but rather look to the shore you came from, as that will stabilize you. And then of course, bend your knees. Now a couple quick things I just want to run through. The first is, why do you not spin off the wake? I've got all this spin and so little time. And the reason is, if you try spin off the wake, you tend to go off axis and then wha-pam, you end up eating turd for dinner. The second question that people always have is, why do I need two hands on the handle? Surely if I just start spinning, it'll be easier to just go one hand off. And the reason for that is, if you take your hand off, you're gonna have less strength, the handle's gonna get away from you, and when you go to pass, you'll see I miss it. Whereas if you keep two hands on, hip up to the handle, you're nice and tight, when you go to pass, the handle's right there, and you come out of it nice and easily. So the main two reasons people fall on this is they either spin early or they don't use two hands. My advice is always focus on the handle, because once you get the handle pass, the trick will follow, as it's the natural progression. A brilliant drill to practice this is to actually tie a 2-litre bottle of water to an end of a 5-foot rope and to spin it around like this. It's going to make you really familiar with that handle feeling, and that makes a big, big difference. Another tip is, instead of holding the handle in the middle, hold it to one side so that when you go to turn, there's more handle to grab. My last tip is, take your time. This is so hard. I personally think it's harder than a lot of inverts, and so it takes a bit of time. Some people spend 2-3 seasons on this. Don't get frustrated if you don't get it in the first few days or first few weeks. It took me months. I actually think it took me a full season to get this. It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would learn it super quickly and then you'd be trying something else. So that's my 2 cents. Hopefully it helps. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.